double. Who gave you Santa for? I don't think it means what you think it means.
It was the serendipitous fall of Jalin Hyatt that was inconceivable to some of us. This is Tim, this is Online Big Blue, bringing Mr. New York Giants sports talk entertainment, running it back old school. Why? Because of the fact that my voice is shot, and I really didn't feel like turning on the camera today. The Giants draft up to this point, going into day 2, has been interesting. You can love it, you could hate it. Some people like the talent, some people don't understand it, some people are overhyped about it, some people are underhyped about it because of the fact that it's the draft. This happens every year. This happened the last 3 years I've been doing this. It's your own personal preference. And I just think, at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is what Shane and Dable and Wink and Kafka and everyone else in that giant building believe that they received the building blocks of this draft. So if someone has a difference of an opinion, someone points out something that you don't like, it's not that they're a hater. It may be your immaturity showing, but it's not that they're a hater. They're just pointing something out. But you know what? You have to love the Jalin Hyatt pick. I laugh because of the fact that Hyatt was always been my guy. I've never made any qualms about it, and I love it because you look at a certain segment of the Giant fan base who was going crazy on Twitter over this pick. And these are the same people that just a couple days ago said that Jalin Hyatt was going to be a bust. That he was not a good wide receiver. That he was a product of Hendon Hooker in the Tennessee Titans. But now all of a sudden he is the greatest pick the Giants have ever had, the 3rd round. That's why my head hurts. Now you could debate Hyatt's size. Some say he's over 6 feet. Some say he's 6 feet. Some say, but you can't go and you can't look at his weight and say, well, that's for debate. He is a slender guy. But I never cared about that because he's a playmaker. I mentioned before, he reminds me of Devontae Smith. He has that ability. He has that speed. He has that elusiveness. He has that je ne sais quoi that will allow him to separate himself from the pack. And that's what I like about him. And I liked about him the fact that he does come from a top-flight program. He does come from a high production year. Yes, if you take a look at his first 2 seasons over on Rocky Top. No 2 strangers went up Rocky Top looking for a moonshine still. Them strangers ain't come down Rocky Top. Reckon they never will. And his first 2 seasons with the Volunteers, Hyatt caught 41 passes. And it was for an average of 12.2 yards per reception and scored 4 touchdowns in 12 games last year. And he did opt out of the Orange Bowl, but I never cared that players, especially ones going into the draft, especially ones that potentially could go in the first round, that they opt out of bowl games. I understand some people say, that's just wrong. They made a commitment they should play. They also made a commitment to their family, and this is their career. So I've never had a problem with that. But last year he had 67 receptions, 1,267 yards for 18.9 yards a catch. He set a single school record over at Tennessee with a record of 15 touchdowns, and he caught 5 touchdowns against Alabama, which is also another record for Tennessee. Brian Dable said, I think he's a good player. I think he runs some of the routes that we run here. You can see a little bit of Gabe how it might translate, but everything is new for him. He's a young guy. We'll throw him in the mix with the other wide receivers and let those guys compete it out. A good visit. Definitely had some qualities that you like when you're watching him. Good young man. We are so happy to have him. Now, this kid is also coming in a little bit with a chip on his shoulder because of the fact that he was potentially with a first-round grade. And the fact that this guy has got speed. This guy has got speed to burn. Speed kills. And you have to love it. And you have to love it because Hyatt first thing is says, I love it when I'm counted out and the Giants, they took a chance on me. So I'm forever grateful, but at the same time, I know it's time to put in the work, and I know it's time to go. I was never picked first for anything. I'm grateful for the Giants giving me an opportunity, and I can't wait to go and show what I have to do. And I love it because that is a perfect response. This is a perfect response for a guy who fell in the draft, like I said, who some considered the best wide receiver in this draft, and he fell. He fell down to the Giants in the third round. The Giants, like I said, the Giants did have to move up. They did have to give up the fourth rounder. So the Giants no longer have a fourth round selection. And they basically relinquished their picks in both the fifth and seventh round. So basically what they have there remaining is their fifth round compensatory pick and 1 6th round pick, which was obtained with Kadarius Toney, and 2 7th rounders. So we've moved some assets. We've diluted the draft pool of some assets. But like I said, I think in Jalin, I think we got a player that we needed, a player that you have to look at it now. It's almost like the no excuse bowl for Daniel Jones, because you got him a center, you got him a wide receiver, you got him technically 2 wide receivers, you got him a tight end, you have Saquon Barkley back, and you gave him $40 million. So there's no more excuses. You can't, if Daniel Jones does not produce 4,000 yards, 35 touchdowns, another 500 yards rushing with another 7 touchdowns, the season's going to be a disappointment. If he turns in the same pedestrian performance he had last year, it's a failure. So this is it. So all the Daniel Jones panty boys and all the Daniel Jones lovers that have overlooked all of his flaws the last 4 seasons after going into a half a decade with this kid, he's not even a kid anymore. This is it. There is no more on this. There's no more no mas. He has to sit there, and you now have to look at this and say that this team is built for Daniel Jones. You also went on and got John Michael Schmitz. Like I said, I am not a huge fan of the Schmitz pick. I'm going to be honest. The kid is a career center for the Golden Gophers. Every scout that have seen him has said that his physical limitations in reference to his speed and his agility and athleticism was always been on full display. But he is a kid that is a former wrestler. He understands the use of strength and leverage, which is a big positive for, of course, for a center. He has dropped 19 pounds since he left college. He came out of college at 320. He's now 301. So he's getting a little slight a build for a center. He's not really. If you take a look at him, he's not really a big guy. I mean, he's not really like this big buff guy. He's also, if you take a look at the fact that he doesn't truly fit what the Giants did scheme-wise last year, even with John Feliciano. And John Feliciano, to me, was not a talented center, and he was not an athletic center. And I think Tippmann was more of their pick, but of course Tippmann went over to the Jets, so no crying over spilt milk. But hopefully he's a plug-and-play guy, because he right now, even with the dearth of talent that we currently have on this roster in regards to the interior linemen, he is gonna be it. He's gonna be your starter. So just because you point out a couple flaws in his games doesn't mean you don't like the pick. It just means the fact that everyone has issues. Now, not every player taken in this NFL draft will be a star, and I think we should have known that going back to the Gettleman drafts, going back to the Reese drafts, going back to even the George Young and Ornia Corsi drafts. The thing is this: you never know what the draft. That's why they have the draft every year. Of course, they have the draft every year to replenish talents on NFL teams and to have some fairness. I just want to do it. Lombardi. The magic still lingers in the name. With duels in the ice and the snow. I always like just doing the NFL films every once in a while, especially when my voice is this shot. But I mean, this truly is the no excuse draft for Daniel Jones. Plain and simple. But like I said, you have to be excited about Jalin Hyatt. I am really excited about the pick. I honestly thought he was. I did videos about it. I thought he was going in the first round, to be honest. I thought he would be. If it was me, he's a playmaker. You grab him at 73. If you look at positional value in reference to his talent and where we got him at, it is the steal of the draft. So at the end of the day, and I think some people have said it right, Daniel Jones has to throw the ball. We have to go vertical. We've talked about it. It is a word in the Webster's dictionary. People should look it up. You got to go vertical now. You got your center. You got your wide receiver. You got your tight end. You got your running back. You got no excuses. And that's the way we're going to leave it today. We'll probably have another video out on Monday. I doubt we're going to do anything in reference to the picks that the Giants come up. Hopefully everyone enjoyed it. Hopefully everyone had a good time. For the subscribers, we got to take out the draft party on Thursday night. That was a hell of a lot of fun. Again, this is Tim. This is Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. And don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to ring that bell, because you know what that means. Oh, that'd be awesome.